everybody, Cinema Sickness here with another weekly watch video for you, where we take a look at some of the titles that I've been watching recently, and I briefly discuss them. So like always, let's just get right down to it, and take a look at what I've been checking out. So a few of the titles I watched this week, I can't physically hold up and show you, as they were stuff I watched on places like Crackle and off of Ultraviolet. So the first time I checked out, I actually watched on Crackle. Crackle's a pretty cool website, and they also have an app on my TV and one of my Blu-ray players and whatnot, where I can watch free movies on there. They do offer free movies. You don't need a subscription or anything, just free movies they post. And a lot of times it's pretty common stuff I have seen, but every now and then it's a title I haven't seen before. And one of the titles I had on there, I was pretty interested in checking out, and that was Green Day Cuatro. So definitely wanted to check that out. I am a fan of the band Green Day, although not as much as I used to be. But, the last couple albums I wasn't a big fan of. But I do still like Green Day, so definitely something I wanted to check out. There was a pretty cool documentary, all sort of about the process of making their last album, their triple album, the process of making that, and it was very interesting to see kind of what goes into the making of a Green Day album. I did enjoy checking it out. I had no idea they had a fourth member now. Like I said, I really don't follow Green Day anymore. I used to be a big fan, but I'm just not so much anymore. So yeah, they have a fourth member now. So I had no idea about that, which is pretty cool. It's always nice to fill out some, a little bit more guitar that they throw into their music now, which is really cool. Apparently they were, it's a guitarist they've been touring with for a while now, because, they're one of those bands who you'll listen to and you'll hear like two guitars playing on a song and you're thinking, well, that doesn't make any sense. There's only one guitarist in that band, which I really always hated when bands do. If you have, drums, bass, guitar, then all you should have on your album is a drum, bass, and a guitar. And don't have like three guitars and a piano, and it's like, well, hold on. If it doesn't make any sense. You just, the members of your band should be what's playing, not how much other crap going on. Because how are you gonna play that live? But apparently, in order to play live, they brought in another guitarist, and eventually, since apparently he was playing with them, he was gonna be like on the record and stuff. They just brought him into the band, and that's pretty cool. So Green Day has a fourth member again. Old news, but for me, new news. So again, I really enjoyed the documentary. Thought it was pretty good. Nothing overly amazing, but still very enjoyable. And I'm actually kind of interested in hearing this new triple album now. I kind of avoided it because like their last two albums, I just wasn't all that into. There's some okay songs on it, but yeah, their last two albums before this triple one came out, I wasn't a huge fan of it. It's kind of when I started like not listening to Green Day so much. So when their triple album came out, I just avoided it. I didn't, I probably just downloaded, but I didn't listen to it at all because I thought, it's just more Green Day. It's more modern Green Day. But after hearing some of the songs they were playing, some of them actually sounded pretty good. They sounded more like Dookie Nimrod kind of era, which was like the era I really got into Green Day. Although I'm certainly a big fan of all their Lookout Record stuff. I really like their old stuff too. But Dookie and Nimrod and stuff. That's kind of when I came into really enjoying Green Day, and some of their music that's kind of sounded like that on this new record. So I'm interested in hearing it. So a good documentary. Definitely want to pick up the DVD. I hope to get a hold of that eventually. I'm going to be on the lookout for that. So again, I thought it was a great documentary. Very well done. If you're into Green Day, it's certainly worth checking out. You're going to see a lot of cool stuff, hear a lot of cool music, and just see what it went into making this new documentary. So I recommend checking it out. You can watch it right now for free, at least if it's still there. It was as of like 2 days ago. I noticed it was still there. Right now on Crackle.com, or if you have the Crackle app on your TV or Blu-ray player, something like that, or your phone, they have a Crackle app on the phone. You can watch on there. So it's free. Definitely check it out. I'd recommend it. It's like I think it's about an hour and a half long documentary, but certainly worth checking out. Very well done. Definitely something I'd say see if you're a fan of Green Day. So the next title I checked out, once again, can't physically hold up and show you, as it was something this I actually watched my Ultraviolet digital copy of. So watch this one on my Vudu app on my TV, and that was Nebraska. Now, believe it or not, I didn't know this movie even came out. I got this nasty habit recently of no longer really paying attention to movies that are like coming out in theaters anyway, like that, or just movies that are coming out until they're actually released onto like DVD and Blu-ray. Then I hear about them. And I mean, I used to keep up on this stuff, and then it just kind of got to the point where I don't really go to the theaters. So part of me is just kind of just been like, I'm not going to go see it in the theater anyway. I'm more interested in buying it on Blu-ray and DVD. That's kind of like my theater to me. Like when a movie comes out to Blu-ray into theaters, I'm just like, whatever. I'm not going to go see it. I don't want to spend $20 to go see a movie once when I can pay $5 and get on Blu-ray or DVD and watch it. For, it's forever, as many times as I want. So, I just don't really pay attention too much when movies are coming out into theaters, unless like there's a big buzz about it, and everybody's talking about it. There's trailers everywhere. I mean, sometimes movies you just can't miss. They're coming out, but other movies I don't know about until I hear about a DVD or Blu-ray release, and or like release date of something, and people are talking about it, and then I start to realize what came out, and I get really excited. That's my time to get excited. Release day on DVD and Blu-ray. Tuesdays are my days to get excited for new movies coming out. They're the first time I've heard of a lot of movies. So Nebraska, totally under my radar. Did not know this movie was even coming out until it was released on the Tuesday and Thursday, or the Tuesday it came out, and I loved it. I thought it was really well done. I was really interested to see what it was about. Just kind of looked like a interesting sort of movie, but I had really no idea. Didn't bother to read up on it. Didn't check out the synopsis or anything like that. One of my viewers, thank you so much for saying this to me, sent me a free ultraviolet digital copy. So downloaded it and watched it, and it was really well done. I love the fact that there are some actors in this movie, actors who you're usually used to seeing play like more comedic roles, playing a very serious role, doing a very good job showing that they can play a very serious role. Loved that. I loved how realistic it felt too. There's this father who's kind of starting to definitely lose it, and he thinks he's won all this money because he gets this scam of like a sweepstakes in the mail, and it says you won like $1 million, but it's just a scam. But he has to go to like a couple of states over to claim it, and he's determined to go, so he's gonna walk there, and the mother's all freaking out. The sons are trying to stop him because he can't walk that far. He's an old man who's going kind of senile, so he's just so determined. He keeps trying to walk. He keeps saying like, okay, I'm not gonna walk anymore. I'm not gonna go, and then like he takes off. So eventually the son says, fine, I'll just take you. So it ends up becoming this kind of cool road trip with this son and his father, who really wasn't there for them when he was a kid. Apparently his father was a big drunk, still is drinking. They definitely have their issues, but you can tell the son still loves his father, and it's just really cool road trip. This cool kind of like bonding road trip. I love the end. It's pretty sappy. It's kind of like a sappy kind of ending, but I just thought it was kind of nice and kind of cool. And I love seeing the son like so happy, and the father getting to like, even though I don't want to spoil things, but just getting to show off in the end, even though because of the outcome, he still gets to show off. I love that. Again, I'm not trying to get too much away, but really well done. Definitely just a great sort of feel-good drama. Very interesting. I'm looking forward to watching it again. I just thought it was very well done. Very just really roped me in the whole time. I loved it. Again, I loved watching this like father-son kind of bonding thing. And I lost my father a few years ago, so I guess I'm also kind of a sucker for these types of movies now. I've noticed that every time I watch a movie about like a father and son, I'm really into the movie now. Whereas before I'd be like, oh yeah, that was good, it was enjoyable, whatever. Now I'm just like, whoa, all right, father and son. I just get really into it now that I like lost my father. I don't know. I guess just one of those things. Like I don't know, but really love this one. I would definitely recommend it. I thought it was pretty interesting. It's all shot in black and white too, which I don't know what they were really going for there. I watched the digital copy, so there wasn't any special features, but it makes me wonder what was the reason why they went black and white? Were they just trying to be artsy? I don't know. I thought it wasn't necessary. The movie didn't really need to be in black and white. Why was it in black and white? I don't know, but didn't bother me. So very well done. Definitely something I would recommend. Just very, very well done film. It's great kind of father-son bonding sort of movie, but if you like dramas, it's definitely something to check out. So see Nebraska, you won't regret it. All right, so next title I checked out, this one I can hold up finally, was The Naked Cage, which, as you can see right there, Canon film. So what more can I say? If it's got the Canon logo on it, it's definitely something I'm going to recommend. And this was an interesting watch. It's girls in a it's one of those girls in a penitentiary movies. It's what it is. Plenty of TNA. You're gonna get plenty of that. It's kind of like a teen rebellion sort of movie. This actually kind of hit a little close to home because I have a friend who kind of fit sort of what happened. There's this girl, and she was dating this guy, and I guess they were actually going to get married. But the guy's he's a drunk. He's got issues and whatnot, and he ends up like meeting this girl who's escaped from this prison, and she's definitely a bad chick, and she meets this guy and kind of convinces him to go rob a bank. Well, the bank they rob is his ex-girlfriend's bank, and she gets roped into it, and they basically end up thinking like she helped plan this robbery, and of course the girl who the bad girl who escaped from the penitentiary kind of goes along with it and says, yeah, she helped plan this out. She was involved in this robbery, and because of that, she ends up having to go to prison. And it's kind of crazy too because she ends up going to prison with this girl who they don't really like each other very much, and why this is a little close to home is because I actually had a friend who had something very similar happen to her. She used to work at a bank, and her boyfriend robbed the bank, and they thought she had something to do with it, even though she had nothing to do with this. I mean, she's like the nicest girl, and she somehow got roped into people thinking that she was involved in this bank robbery. She actually went to prison for a couple of years because she was falsely accused, and I mean, I definitely believe she was falsely accused of robbing, helping plot a robbery for a bank. It sucks that this happened to her. So it kind of hit a little close to home. I was watching this thinking, wow, I know this story. This is a story that happened to a friend of mine. So interesting movie. It's cheesy. It's ridiculous. Again, it's just an excuse for TNA. But you know what? It's a lot of fun. It's a Canon Pictures film. What more can I say than that? Canon is just fantastic. Canon cannot do wrong. Everything they do is perfect in just a fun, cheesy sort of way. So I'd recommend it. It was fun. If you just like great cheesy movies, The Naked Cage, definitely one to check out. Now the next movie, kick-ass artwork. I was really this is something I miss. I miss watching a movie or picking up a VHS tape, I should say, and going, wow, that artwork looks amazing. I have to see this. And then watching a movie and being like, that wasn't that good. And what I watched was Frightmare. Look at that artwork. How badass is that? Just this hand coming out of, like a zombie hand coming out of the grave, holding a skull with a knife going through its eyes with a snake wrapped around it. There's like this haunted house in the background. There's mist and trees blowing and a full moon, and just Frightmare's written all kind of creepy. Badass. Just great, fantastic artwork. I mean, this would be like a poster I'd hang up. Even though this movie wasn't that good, this would be like a poster I'd hang up just because it's awesome. But unfortunately, the artwork doesn't really fit the movie, which, you know, there's part of me who I love that. Even though I might go, awesome artwork, I gotta see this movie, and go, oh, the movie wasn't good. The artwork definitely does not represent the movie. I miss those days. I miss the days of going to the rental store and buying a movie because the artwork looked really cool. Nowadays, the artwork for movies is such shit. Nowadays, this movie be like Photoshop, be like a floating head or something, and of the main characters, some crap like that. It would just say Frightmare. See this movie. It would just be some stupid shit. I'd be like, oh, this looks stupid. I don't want to see this. This makes me want to see it. So anyway, so movie not very good. The entire plot is there's this actor who plays horror characters like a vampire and stuff like that, and there's this group of horror film junkies, and they end up robbing this guy's grave, taking his body back to their house and have this big party with him and stuff. Well, he ends up coming back from the grave and just killing them all one by one, which kind of sounds interesting. I mean, they take this dead body and then the body comes back to life and starts killing them. You know, could be interesting, but it's not. It's pretty boring. It's really not much fun. I just wasn't really all that into this. It wasn't horrible. I've seen worse, but at the same time, it just didn't do it for me. I just found this movie to be very just very mediocre. It's not the best film. I really wouldn't recommend it. I mean, kick-ass artwork. Worth picking up the VHS tape alone for the artwork, just display that or something. It's great, but unfortunately, the movie I just found to be very, very mediocre. Not all that great. Interesting plot. Had it been done better, could have been a good story, but in the end, it wasn't creepy. It was just boring. The characters weren't all that exciting. I really wouldn't recommend the movie. So, I say don't see it, but buy the VHS anyway, because that's kick-ass artwork. Then I checked out a movie that I was really interested in seeing, and that was Bob Roberts. Unfortunately, I thought the movie was just okay. Wasn't blown away by this one. Apparently a lot of you guys like this, though, because I was watching when I posted on Instagram and Facebook that I was watching this, a lot of you were saying how much you enjoyed it. I just thought it was okay. I just wasn't blown away by it. I mean, Tim Robbins did a great job in it, but in the end, I just thought it was just all right. He plays a corrupt, pretty funny character. He's a corrupt politician running, I believe he's being a senator, and he's a folk singer, but really kind of like, how do you explain? Really offensive to like folk music. He's not. He doesn't stick up for like rights and stuff like a lot of folk music was like all about your rights and sticking up for things you believe in and whatnot. He's like completely against that. Just things like the president, you should like follow him blindly and follow your country and your government blindly. Just do what they say. It's that's the way it is. Their way of the highway. And the stuff he sings about, like so anti-drug and anti-hippie and anti, thinking for yourself and whatnot. But he's singing like folk music. It's hilarious to hear the lyrics because the stuff he's saying is just like so offensive to like folk music. It's rather amusing. But this guy's just insanely corrupt. And one thing they did like about this movie is just they really do a great job of pointing out just how blindly people are, just how stupid people are, and how blindly people follow somebody. Just heaven forbid you look into the truth. That's America. Unfortunately, in this country, the truth does not matter. It's all about what you hear on the news, what you read about in the newspaper, which are run by companies and organizations who, basically run the government. And I'm not going to get into this, not get all crazy on you, but, you're, unfortunately, a lot of people don't care about the truth. The truth is right there a lot of times. It's right in front of your face. Here's how things actually are. But people just blindly believe whatever they hear. What they hear at work or what they hear on, Fox News or something like that, that's gotta be the truth. And a lot of times it's a blatant lie. Excuse me. And it's really interesting in this movie to watch all these people just blindly following this character, following what he does. I mean, he basically fakes being shot. Everybody just completely believes him. This guy gets blamed for it, but then he gets let off because there's really no evidence to really say that he did shoot him. But then somebody goes out and kills him because they think, oh no, he actually did shoot him. So just crazy to watch all these people just following him, like worshiping this guy like he's a god, just blindly, like people do when the president comes. When the elections come around, people are just so freaked out about Democrat, Republican. They just love their candidates, even though they're one and the same. It's a single party system, masquerading as a 2-party system. But it's just really funny to see people get so crazy about politicians when it. When that's like the least of your worries when it comes to the government. Anyway, again, I'm not going to get into a whole government spiel here, but that is one thing I loved about this movie. It really captured just how blindly people follow bullshit. Just how much of sheep people really are. But all in all, I thought it was just okay. I wasn't blown away by it. I thought it could have been done better, but still, it was enjoyable. And if you like Tim Robbins, I'd say see it. So the next title I watched is definitely one I was really interested in seeing, as I've heard really good things about this one. This is one I definitely knew was coming out since, when it was in theaters, everybody was talking about this. Another movie I watched, my ultraviolet digital copy of, because when you guys sent to me, I don't actually own a physical copy yet. I will, though. And that was 12 Years a Slave. I've just been hearing so many good things about this movie and how great it was. And it was a really enjoyable movie. I call these movies cheat movies, and what I mean by that is you take like a really kind of like hot topic or something very, very controversial and make a movie about it. If you do a good job with the movie, it's going to be a big hit. I mean, like The Help and stuff like that. Movies like that play like the race card and stuff like that, and are just really racially driven, yeah, they're going to be a hit movie as long as you do them well. I mean, if you make a shitty movie, it's still not going to do well, but as long as you do a decent job making the movie, just the controversy and the topic and stuff is going to really make your movie stand out. People are going to love it. So I do tend to call these movies cheap movies, but that's not saying it, bad. No, this movie was great. I really enjoyed it. Very depressing and dark though. It's about this free black man who ends up getting sold into slavery. Just I'd heard about this, I had read about this before in books and stuff. I remember learning about this in school, and that was that up north you'd have free black men or even free slaves, and people would literally just go and capture these guys, just take them in the middle of the night and send them on a ship down south and sell them off, change their name, their identity, and they, who cares if you're Bob Joe from up north? No, your name is now Sam Smith, and you can plead all you want and tell your master all you want who you really are and what you do. They don't give a shit. You're officially just sold. Congratulations, you're now a slave. Fucked up. I couldn't even imagine that. You're living your life as a free black man, and then all of a sudden, just bam, now you're a slave. That sucks. Like, just watching that is just hard to watch, and so many things in this movie are very hard to watch, but very truthful at the same time. I really love the fact that Paul Giamatti's in this movie. Even though he's in the movie for like 5 minutes, as I said many times, Paul Giamatti, my favorite actor. Even though he's playing a slave auctioneer, I still loved him. Like, Paul Giamatti, yes. I was so psyched to see him pop up. Same thing with Brad Pitt. He plays a pretty cool character in this. I didn't even know Brad Pitt was in this movie, so when he popped up, that was pretty cool. So all in all, a very good movie. It's happy end. I should say happy ending. Happy-ish ending. It's hard to say for what this guy went through that the ending's really happy. I mean, I'm glad to see that he no longer is a slave at the end of the movie, but he went through a lot of shit, and I mean, for 12 years of his life, and it's really hard to say that the end of the movie was happy. It's really not. It's like a bittersweet ending where, yeah, he's not a slave, but yeah, he's not only mentally scarred, but he's physically scarred too for being a slave. So again, bittersweet kind of ending, but still very enjoyable. I'm sure you've heard many great things about this film, and you've heard right. It's a fantastic watch. I would definitely recommend it. Definitely something to see. My wife refused to watch it, though. For those who don't know, my wife is black. She refuses to watch these types of movies because they just, like, anger her so much and just get her, like, she can't stand watching these movies. And, I'm white. I can't imagine what it's like being black and watching one of these movies. I can't even begin to imagine that. I don't even know, but I just assume it's got to be rough to probably watch a movie like that if you are African American. So yeah, my wife refuses to watch these movies. She won't watch this. I remember like a couple years ago I was watching Amistad. She wouldn't watch it. So anyway, so fantastic movie. Like I said, I'm sure you've been hearing really good things. And everything you heard was right. Definitely see 12 Years a Slave. I'd highly recommend it. So after that, checked out, because I watched such a depressing movie and decided to watch something a little more upbeat, and I checked out Clerks. And Clerks 2. And decided to watch my HD DVD copy because if I have something on HD DVD, why would I not watch this? Actually, I don't have this movie on Blu-ray. I really need to get it. I have it on DVD and HD DVD. Definitely need to get myself a Blu-ray copy of Clerks 2. I love this film. I've seen Clerks dozens of times. I grew up with that movie. I've been a big fan of the movie ever since like the 90s. I remember when it came out, everybody was talking about it. I remember watching it in like high school and middle school and stuff like that. Loved Clerks. Great film. And when Clerks 2 came out, I remember seeing it in theaters, and I loved the film. It was great. I had seen it only maybe like 2 or 3 times since I saw it in the theaters. And I just been really wanting to watch it again because it is such a great, funny movie. And if you've seen Clerks a million times, it's definitely Clerks 2 is definitely something you need to see a million times too. It's a great sequel. Extremely well done. Love seeing all these characters come back and playing the same characters you love from Clerks. It's great. Fantastic ending as well. Love the way they ended this. I know they're talking about a Clerks 3. I wonder if that's ever coming out. I should look into that. I would love to see a Clerks 3 if they ever actually do that. That'd be really cool. I'm definitely going to look into that after I'm done this video. They see if there's any more news on that. I haven't read up on that in a long time. So, Clerks 2, what more to say? It's very raunchy, outrageous, crazy. It's like Clerks on crack. I mean, Clerks had its raunchy and craziness as well, and then they just like step their game up. They turn it up to 11 with this movie. So Clerks 2 is fantastic. I don't have too much more to say. It's Kevin Smith. If you like the Jersey Chronicle movies, something you're gonna want to check out. Definitely fits in with all the other Jersey Chronicle films. It's great. If you've seen Clerks, for some reason you haven't seen Clerks 2, see it. It's a great sequel. And if you haven't seen Clerks and you haven't seen Clerks 2, get out from under the rock, watch them both. They're brilliant. So Clerks 2, I don't have too much to say about it, but it is fantastic. Then I watched the complete first season of Modern Family. Now this was something I had really never seen. This was the wife's really into this. She actually bought these and I stole them from her because I actually really enjoy this now. She bought the first 3 seasons, so we're in the middle of watching those. So I finished up the first season, and I fell in love with it from the first episode. Watched the first episode of it, thought, this is pretty funny. Loved all the characters, loved all the wackiness. I was cracking up laughing, and as soon as the first episode was over, I said, well, sorry, hon, your movie, or your seasons are now going into my collection. This is a great show. And she knew it too. She knew as soon as I watched the show I was gonna love it, and I did. It was great. I see what she was buzzing about. She really loves this show, and it was very funny. I'm not gonna say this is going to be one for everybody. I can see how some people probably wouldn't like this movie, but I thought it was great. Certain characters are better than others. Right there, relate to him very, very, very much. We're like one and the same as far as just like how ridiculously goofy we are. So again, I really enjoyed it. I definitely recommend it. It's just about this family of all different characters. I mean, it's it's three different families, but they're all one family, and just how they all fit in and all the wackiness and craziness that ensues. It's just one of those really fun sitcoms. It's also shot kind of like there's a camera there. It's one of those films like there's a camera like somebody's documenting their lives, but then again at some points they're like not. It's really weird to see them talking to the camera or them looking at the camera sometimes, and other times it's like there's no camera around at all. Kind of weird, but regardless, definitely recommend it. I'm gonna say this is definitely not gonna be a show for everybody, but I like it. If you like modern day sitcoms, watch Modern Family. I thought it was pretty good. And finally, the last that I have to talk about, the last one I checked out was All Is Lost. This was great. I really enjoyed this movie. I know a couple of people posted that they thought it was boring when I said that I was watching this. And I could see how some people would find this movie somewhat boring, because it's literally just Robert Redford kind of screwed. He's on this boat. He's sleeping. All of a sudden, he hears this big bang, and there's water coming into his boat. And he ends up hitting one of those big like shipping crates. You see like those big ships that have those huge crates on them that they end up putting onto a tractor trailer and driving it somewhere. One of those must have fell off a ship. He's out in the middle of the ocean, hits this thing, puts a hole in his boat, but luckily enough he can repair it. He repairs it pretty well. Things you think are going to go safe, but then he ends up hitting a storm. It's like one of those movies, like one bad thing after another. Almost like I'm going to hate to say this. I'm surprised it doesn't say this anywhere on here. I haven't even heard about this. I know somebody out there has made this has made this comparison, but almost like Gravity on water, if you want to look at it that way. It's a disaster film where just the shit keeps hitting the fan. One thing goes bad, you think he's going to be okay, things seem to be all right, he repairs his boat, fine. Then he hits a storm, and that goes bad. And then this happens, and then that happens. Things are just not going well for Robert Redford in this film. I wasn't quite sure what to think of the ending, though. Okay, spoiler here. I'm gonna give away the ending. So if you don't want to know the ending, guess stop watching this video now. But he is saved at the end, and I wasn't quite sure what to think of that, because at the end, he's in this like shipping lane, and you feel so bad for him, because at one time it's during the day, and he takes his road flare out. He's trying to single the ship. They don't see him, which I can kind of understand, sort of. I mean, he's on this big yellow raft. How do you not see him? I mean, you're in the middle of the ocean. There's nothing around you. How do you miss a big yellow raft in the ocean? Even if you're on some giant boat, I still think you would see that. I don't know. You're staring at blue all day. How would you not see a white raft? I'm not sure, or a big yellow raft. I'm not sure, but whatever. Say miss him during the day. I'm like, okay, I can kind of see them missing him during the day. But then this other boat comes by at night, and he shoots off like flare gun. Shoots off 2 flares, lighting up the sky. They miss him as well. I'm just like, you were so screwed. Like, you feel so bad for him when they miss him the second time, because the second time they really should have seen him on this raft. But he gets missed once again. You just feel so horrible for Robert Redford at that point. And then he ends up seeing a ship way off in the distance. He has no more flares, nothing. He doesn't know what he's going to do. So he decides to set this fire, hoping, on a raft, sets a fire in this tub he has, hoping to catch somebody's attention. Well, the entire raft goes up in flames. He falls in the water. You start seeing him go down, 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 down. You think he's going to drown. And I'm thinking, all right, so downer of an ending, but maybe more of a realistic sort of ending. Sometimes I almost want to see somebody die at the end of a movie, because it makes it feel more realistic. Okay, this person didn't make it. People don't always make it at the end of a story. Sometimes people unfortunately, just bad luck just keeps hitting them and they don't make it. Whereas in the end, you think he's not going to, and then the boat comes and it saves him. The ending is just simply just his hand on their hand grabbing him out of the water. And I was like, all right. So, it was nice to see him survive, because he was through so much. But at the same time, I was like, I don't know. Maybe I would have enjoyed the movie a bit more had he died, because it would have felt more realistic than, oh, another happy Hollywood ending. I don't know. But I also think what also bothered me is the fact that I almost wanted to see sort of what happened afterwards. Like, take a movie like Castaway. I love the fact that at the end of Castaway, we see what happens to Tom Hanks. We see him trying to readjust this stuff and get, back into, civilization. Now, not that Robert Redford was lost for a long time, but I would have loved to have seen what would have happened. Okay, he's saved. Now he's going to, like, tell a story and, I'm not talking I want, like, another, like, 20 minutes of a movie like they did at the end of Castaway. No. But, like, an extra, like, 5 minutes of him, like, getting on the boat and people like, are you okay? And watching him go back to safety. I always wanted to see that for some reason. I don't know. For some reason, I just felt a little cheated that, simply like, okay, he was saved and done. I don't know. I'm not sure. So I was kind of like, I had mixed feelings at the ending of the movie, but all in all, it was a good watch. Again, some people found it boring, probably because Robert Redford talks maybe like twice in this entire movie, but he's by himself. What's he going to say? He doesn't really talk very much in this film at all. Usually if he talks, he's like yelling at a ship, hey, I'm over here. That's really about it. But he's by himself. He's not really going to talk much. He's just trying to save his life. Things aren't going very well. He's got a hole in his ship. He hit a storm. He's now on a life raft. He's running out of food and water. Shit keeps hitting the fan. And you really don't expect him to talk very much, and he doesn't. So I can see how some people might have been bored with this, but in the end, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very well done movie. Just very, very suspenseful, I guess you could say. So all in all, I enjoyed it. Thought it was good, and I'd recommend checking it out. Great film. So there you go, guys. That is it. I'm dying here. One of these days, when I do these weekly watch videos, I'm actually going to have a glass of water with me. Always forget that when I sit down, and then by the end of the video, I have no voice. But that's what happens when you talk for a half hour straight. So anyway, I pretty much recommend everything I saw. I mean, with the exception of maybe Frightmare, it wasn't that great. I mean, if you really want to see it, sure, check it out. But like I said, at least buy it for the VHS artwork, because it is fantastic. And like I also said, Bob Roberts, I just thought was okay. I know a lot of people out there really enjoy this movie, but I wasn't blown away by it. I would recommend it if it's something you want to see. Sure, check it out. It was at least worth a watch, but I don't really see myself watching it ever again. And I just thought it was just all right. Although, like I said, it does do a pretty good job of capturing just how blindly people follow other people. So, yeah, for the most part, I'd recommend everything, pretty much with the exception of Frightmare. So anyway, guys, that's it. So like I always say, if you like this video, please give me a like. If you're not already subbed, please do. And if you're not already over at cinemasickness.com, head on over there, click on the shop tab, purchase yourself a Cinema Sickness sticker or a Cinema Sickness button. I'd really appreciate the support. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.